Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Welcome to class 4. I imagine at this point you've taken class 1, 2, and 3. Each part is 3 sections. There's the lesson, there's the quiz, and then there's the review. Make sure you've gone through lesson 1 all the way through, lesson 2 all the way through, lesson 3 all the way through, and now we're getting to lesson 4. Now, let's start it right now. And again, we're going to show the Robinhood app, the Webull app. Generally, the concept is all the same across all platforms. However, I would like you to either download Robinhood or Webull if you have not done so. I put the link in the description, so then you can get in and see exactly how it's done. So now this is called selling covered call options. So let's start here. Now, the first, let me just click on right here. All right, look. So here's our agenda. So we have selling call options, what we're talking about. And it says, who needs to know how to sell covered call options? What is a covered call? When to sell covered calls, and where to sell covered calls. Also, why is it important to know how to sell calls, and how much can you make selling call options? So now, let's get it right now. Again, Discord family, I'm doing this for you. Now, let's get it. Check this out. You have 2 characters here. In this case, and we're going to try to go through all of the concepts and then give examples, specific examples, so you can absorb it and rewatch this if you need to pick up some game. So now, you have people who have cash, and then you have people who have 100 shares. So remember, some people have cash, some people have 100 shares. So now, this is who needs to know how to sell covered calls. So check this out. Someone who has cash, they might think that a stock will rise. Someone who has 100 shares, let's say that they think at the same exact time that that same stock is going to fall. So someone in this case who has the cash and they think the stock is going to rise, what they might do is buy a call option like in lesson 1, where you expect the stock to go up, so you jump into a call option and then you ride the wave up. But what if at the same time, someone else who has 100 shares, they actually think you are dead wrong, and they think that, you know what, this stock is going to fall. However, I will sell you that contract for the call option. So this is all about the contract, right? So this is who needs to know. So let's keep it going. Now, what is a covered call? Riding a covered call means you're giving someone the ability to buy 100 shares from you. So remember, you have to have the 100 shares. So you're giving someone the ability to buy 100 shares from you at the strike price anytime before the expiration. So think about this. If you were to buy a call option, you have the ability, you don't have to, but you have the contract and you have the ability to buy 100 shares at the strike price before the expiration, right? But this contract doesn't come out of nowhere. Someone is selling this contract. So now this is the other end. Some people are buying calls, but this is how you sell a call, right? So note, you must own 100 shares for every contract you want to sell. So for example, if you want to sell 1 covered call, you need 100 shares. If you want to sell 2 contracts of this covered call, you need 200 shares, right? So, and again, I'm lacing you up with this game so that you can understand that one day when your portfolio is whatever it's going to be, you can basically sell calls against your shares and then just bring in income like that basically every single month. And many people on Wall Street do this. Warren Buffett does this. And particularly, they do it when they have stocks that they don't expect to shoot up in price too much, but they have a lot of that stock that they've accumulated over time. All right, now check this out. So when to sell covered calls. And again, not financial advice, but this is when people do it. So someone wants to buy a call with cash, right? You want to buy a call, you have cash, you go and buy a call option. So now it doesn't come out of nowhere. Someone is selling that call option, right? So this person wants to collect the premium from call options. So notice I have the premium and cash at the same exact color, right? This bluish color. So the cash is the premium in this case. So this person has to pay cash to get a contract, to get a call option. But this other person who is selling the covered call, they have 100 shares. And what they're going to do is receive that premium straight up into their buying power in their account. Okay, check this out. Here's an example. If this person wants to buy a call, and let's say that they buy a call, right? Notice we have it in green, buy a call, and they're going to have to pay that 1.00, which is $100. What is the strike price? And you should know at this point from following the other options classes, the strike price is $22 per call, right? Or for this strike. So check this out. In order for this strike, they have to pay that premium. Notice when you buy a call, you're the one paying this 100. Let's look at the other end of it. So let's say you instead sell a call. Look, the premium is exactly the same, except in this case, when you go to the 22 strike on Ford for January 14th, that's our date, then you get to actually collect this premium, right? So you want to collect the premium from the call option. So someone else, again, just so we're clear on this, someone wants to buy a call. They're going to pay $100. But someone on the other end of that is selling that same call. So this is what we're talking about. When you sell a call, you get to collect the premium. All right. Now, check this out. Let's say that you want to collect the premium. You look at all of these different call options and you see what the premium is on them. And you have 100 shares of the underlying stock. The underlying stock in this case is Ford, right? So we're looking at the January 14th call option, the 2022 strike. And notice we're selling a call and the price is currently $21.57. Let's say that this woman right here, in this case, she's writing the call contract, right? In this case, let's say that she has some information that's telling her, look, Ford is about to drop. Maybe the technicals are saying it, maybe something else, but she doesn't want to necessarily get rid of her shares and just sell out of it. She wants to just collect some money by collecting the premiums on that, right? So this is what can happen. Remember, if someone exercises a call option, if someone was to buy a call and then they were to exercise that call, that means that they're going to use it. So that means this: when you buy a call, for example, at the 22 strike, that means that you get to basically pick up 100 shares at the $22 price. Okay, but then remember, somebody sold you this contract, and this is who we're talking about, selling calls. But notice, if the other person decides to exercise this contract that you sold them, then, so if they exercise the option, you will end up with what? This is what you'll end up with if the other person exercises the option. So now, let's say that the share price is 21 and you thought it was going to drop to 20. You thought it was going to drop to, let's call it 19 or something like that. But then it actually goes up to 23. The share price goes up to 24. And this person chooses to exercise and they choose to buy all 100 of your shares for $22 each. This is what you would end up with. You would end up with the premium because you immediately get the premium. You would also end up with the strike price multiplied by your 100 shares. So you would get $22 strike, right? Times 100 shares, that's $2,200 plus that 100. So $2,300 totally. So then they would actually give you the premium and then they would buy your shares for the strike price, 100 of them for the strike price, and you would end up with $2,300. Let's keep it going. What if they don't exercise the option? Then this is what happens. If the other party doesn't exercise the option, then you'll get to keep your 100 shares. And you also get to keep the premium. So you get to keep that $100 and you get to keep your shares if, let's say, this price stays the same and it never exceeds this break even right here. If it never exceeds it and they never exercise, then you just get to straight up keep the $100, right? And if by January 14th, this contract would expire totally worthless. It'd be out of the money, right? So check it out. Let's keep it going. Where to sell covered calls. So this is Robinhood's example. So if you go to Ford, and you go to trade down here, and then you go to trade options. Next thing you know, you're looking at this screen, right? And you'll see sell call. And then you click sell call, and then boom, you can just load up on it like that and then collect that premium. Okay, now check this out. Webull example. On Webull, then what you can do is click options, and then you can click the date, and then make sure you're on calls down here, which is, again, January 14th in this example. And then you click the strike, the same one as the Robinhood one. And then check this out. You're going to get to this screen and it'll load you in on buy as if you're going to buy that call. But in this case, we're switching it over and we were going to sell that call in this example, right? So then that's where you buy them on Robinhood and Webull. So now, what are the risks of selling calls? The reward is you get to collect the premium. What is the risk? The risk is potentially missing out on a large stock rise, a very large stock rise. So let's say in our example, and it's called an opportunity risk. In our example, you have 100 shares of Ford at $21.57 right now. This is the current price. What happens if Ford goes to 30? What if it goes to 40? What if it goes to 50? If you were to sell a covered call, you would be locked into a contract saying that you have to sell it for $22. That was the strike price. That was the agreed upon price, right? By January 14th. Okay, or between now and January 14th. So now check this out. The potentially missing out on a large stock price rise. So you don't want to do this on something that you think is going to blow up, right? This is why people try to do it on the downside when they think the price is going to come down, not when the price is going to go up. Okay, now, as long as the covered call is open, aka before the expiration in this case, what we're talking about, then you are obligated to sell the shares at the strike price. This is a contract that you signed, and that's why you got the premium from the front. Now, it says, Are you willing to own the stock if the price declines? Because notice in our example again, Ford is about $21, right? But it says if the stock price sharply declines, or if the price declines sharply, you know what? Losses will increase almost dollar for dollar below the break-even point because you are stuck in the play. So you're basically stuck in it. So let's say that in this case, you are in Ford and you have 100 shares and it's currently $21. But what if it drops to 14, 15, 16, 17? You be stuck in this because you signed a contract saying that the only person who can buy it from you is the other person on the other end of the contract, and they have until January 14th. So you wouldn't be able to it almost holds you back from panic selling in a way. So let's keep it going. Now, the next question is this. How much can you make from selling covered calls? So the premium amount will be basically immediately debited or added to your account. You can think of it like that in your buying power. So when you look at a call option and you're trying to sell it because you have 100 shares, and then you can go and say, look, the premium is $100. Do I want $100? I have 100 shares of Ford, and you know what? For the 22 strike, I don't think it's going there. So then you sell this and you get $100 immediately debited. Now, who does this generally? You can think of it, for example, like people like Warren Buffett, who has so many different shares of so many different kind of stocks that don't just jump up very, very quickly. And sometimes they come down. So then what they do is they sell these covered calls. And also on dividend kind of stocks that don't really just necessarily jump up like growth stocks, and you're receiving dividends on them, you could also sell calls on them. No, make sure you know what you're doing, but you could sell calls on them. And then covered calls in this example. And then in that case, family, what will happen is you can receive the dividend from the stock, and then you can also receive the premium on top of the dividend. And people generally do this month in, month out. So basically 12 times a year with a 30-day expiration, or at least somewhere around that range, 30 days out from today. So now this is why I picked the January 14th in that range. So it gives you a month out, for example, from the time of posting this video. So now another thing that I want you to think of too is if you have 100 shares of a play and you were considering selling out of it anyway, sometimes what people do is they sell covered calls, right? So you have 100 shares, you were considering selling out of it anyway. So then let's say that you paid, you paid $19 for this Ford stock, and you sell the $22 strike. So then what could happen is you could get forced to sell it at 22. But guess what? That's better than where you bought it. So then you come out on top. So family, again, how much money can you make? You can make the premium of the call options if you have 100 shares. So this is it. I want you to hit the like button. I appreciate y'all. Discord family, let's get it. Be on the lookout for the quiz. Rewatch this so you can understand selling covered calls. Again, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And again, if you can't handle the heat of these hot stocks and stay out of the kitchen, consider investing in the index funds. Discord family, watch this over again. Good luck. Be ready for the quiz. Take care.